The Chernobyl disaster is considered the worst nuclear disaster of all time. The event happened on the 26th of April 1986 in the northern Ukraine city of Pripyat under the control of the Soviet Union. A timeline of events leading up to a massive nuclear explosion of Reactor 4 at 1:23:58 am would start a complicated story of Soviet Union cover-ups, hiding the mistakes they made to maintain their pride. The accident started during a safety test after a crew swap from the day crew, with many of the new crew having no idea that a test was to take place. Anatoly Dyatlov, chief engineer on the night shift, ignored safety rules, which led to putting the reactor in the worst conditions a nuclear reactor should be in, and when the scram button, AZ5, which is an emergency shutdown button, was pressed, it acted as a detonator button and blew up the reactor due to poor design and cheaper materials being used. The reactor used graphite-tipped control rods, which were used to slow down the reaction rate in the reactor, as they were cheaper. This saving in money, however, eventually cost lives. It was Sweden who initially pushed the Soviet Union into admitting that there was an issue, as they didn't inform anyone prior due to their secrecy and pride. Valery Legasov was appointed chief of the commission investigating the Chernobyl disaster and presented the case of negligence against Nikolai Fomin, Viktor Byukhanov and Anatoly Dyatlov, who were believed to be the people who should hold the most blame for the disaster. They were tried and sentenced to prison and to work in a labour camp. More than 600,000 people were involved in the clean-up operation in and around the nuclear plant to prevent the further spread of nuclear material that would contaminate surrounding areas. The power plant is still radioactive to this day, however a large shelter has been placed over it to prevent further radiation leaks. Experts say that this could have been avoided if it weren't for the Soviet model prioritising power output and the ease of construction over safety.